Nintendo.
Animal Crossing is a wonderful game series I've grown up with. So the year was 2004, I was 9, and we had just moved to a brand new town where I knew absolutely no one. When my parents found a brand new babysitter, I went to go visit her, and she showed me a bunch of her GameCube games, one of which ended up being Animal Crossing that she let me borrow. So this little mysterious game called Animal Crossing just pretty much immediately blew my mind. The fact you play in like a brand new universe where you had a second complete life, and the fact that it played in real time just was insane to me. And while real-time games these days aren't too like insane, back then that was like a pretty brand new idea as far as I was aware. Over the years, we've seen 4 iterations of the main series Animal Crossing, and we've seen them throw in a bunch of brand new ideas and throw some of the other ones right in the trash. This is my 2-part list of new features I'd like to see in the upcoming Animal Crossing game coming up for Switch, as well as features from past games I'd like to see come back in a second video. Backyards. Ever since I began my Animal Crossing adventure, one of the big things I've always wanted in the game was outdoor furniture. New Leaf brought it one step closer with public works projects, and Pocket Camp even closer with an entire campsite, which essentially worked like how I'd imagine a backyard would work in the main games. Why not have it so when you go to upgrade your house, there's an option to get a backyard? It doesn't have to be like a big area, like maybe the typical medium room size that could just go like behind or maybe to the one on the sides of your house. In this area, you'd just be able to put furniture. Maybe only specific furniture like the Backyard series, for example, but I think a lot of furniture items could be utilized to put outside. Maybe Nintendo could use this as an excuse to create a bunch of new outdoor themed furniture people could buy from Tom Nook store, or maybe even a brand new store entirely. Animals having different sized homes. You know what's kind of boring about the houses the animals have? They all look super similar. What if different animals had different default sized houses? Like maybe Nana moves in with the starter house the player gets when they start the game, or Bob moves in with a fully decked out 2-story house. I also think it'd be cool if animals could occasionally upgrade their house, much like how the player can, to which then you'd be able to help them fill the extra space with furniture tasks the animals normally give you. I realize this might be a little bit of a pain to program, but I do really think it would help the animals feel much more alive if they would occasionally upgrade their houses. Wallpaper and carpet update. One cool update the KK Slider music got over time was giving each song a unique sprite when you drop it on the ground. At the start of the series, each song looked the exact same, a little music note when dropped, but later on, maybe as New Leaf? City Folk? I can't remember because I'm a big dum-dum. Anyway, at some point they individualized each of the songs so that when you'd find them in other ways than KK singing them, or if you decided to display them in your house, each song sprite would have a unique style to it. One real annoying thing in Animal Crossing that still hasn't been upgraded is the wallpaper and carpets. They all have the exact same sprite. Looking for a specific wallpaper? Have fun going through boatloads of text just to find out if you got lucky on each one Nook is selling. Why not give all the carpets and wallpapers the KK Slider music treatment, where they all get different textures and sprites just so you get a general idea of which one's which without having to even click on it to buy it. I'm honestly shocked this hasn't been done yet, to be honest. Animals actually using the tools they carry around. It's weird to me that the animals are always carrying around tools, but they never actually catch anything. Why not allow them to do this, even if they only do so very rarely, and never with rare bugs that the player would be able to catch? Maybe the animals could catch fish without the shadows, as to not steal from the player, and maybe just have them catch common bugs. I think it'd be a hilarious WTF moment to see good old Bob fishing and he suddenly pulls up a gigantic coelacanth. This would be a small change, but I really do think the small changes add up and make the world feel much more lived in. Shopkeeper upgrades. On the topic of houses, one thing I've always thought about Tom Nook and the other shopkeepers is they don't really feel like a part of the village and community. They stay in their shops forever, even when they close down for the day. I like Pelly and Phyllis a bit more because they actually have a day and night shift switch, but even that could be improved. So what if the other shopkeepers had a day and night shift switch, much like Pelly and Phyllis, and the ones that weren't working function like something of a normal villager that wandered around the village with a place to live? I realized that if all the shopkeepers and special NPCs had their own individual houses, that it would take up a lot of space in the village, or maybe a second section to the main street where all the houses were laid out much like how Main Street is, which is just, you know, a set way. That way all the shopkeepers would have their own house to go to at the end of the day or something. Maybe like a cool little cul-de-sac. Even if Nintendo didn't want to go that far with it, I still think it'd be really cool if you'd occasionally see someone like Tom Nook wandering around the town after his shop closed, and you could just have like a normal conversation with him, or maybe even learn something new about him that you wouldn't normally get the chance to learn anyways. That's why I like the RV idea a little bit, New Leaf. Like, let's say you invite Tom Nook to the campground, and you get to know the character a little bit more, and it would just make them feel a bit more real and a part of the community, and just didn't make them feel like generic shopkeeper NPC number 523. More job options. I don't know about everyone else, but I love at the beginning of most Animal Crossing games when you become a slave indebted to Tom Nook, and you do a bunch of jobs for him as a bit of a tutorial. I love for it to become a permanent option where you can ask for part-time work at places like Nookington's, or even be expanded upon by asking other places on Main Street for work. The post office could ask you to manually deliver mail they haven't gotten to around yet, or heck, maybe even have a little mini-game similar to the mail sorting game in Wind Waker. Other places like Shunk's Nightclub could give you jobs to help promote the place, like handing out flyers, or maybe even sticking them up on walls like posters. Jobs like this should definitely just give you straight up money instead of like when you do jobs for animals and they could give you things like furniture and wallpapers and stuff, just to differentiate between the two. Better Public Works UI. The Public Works projects in New Leaf were a huge hit, and I'm pretty sure everyone loved them, and I have no doubt in my mind they'll be back. But I do think they could have some improvements, mainly on how they're placed. Typically, you'll bring Isabella around the town and place a new project where she'll promptly tell you there's no space for it, even when there clearly is. Or she'll place it in the incorrect spot no matter how much you try to get her to put it in the right spot. It's extremely frustrating when you have a very specific spot in mind for something like a street lamp or a bench or anything really. I think this would be greatly improved if they just let you move it around yourself once you bring Isabel to around the correct area you want it, and then just like move it around as if it's like in a grid or something. Much like how other games let you make large-scale world changes. Stardew Valley, for example, had a great UI system for placing projects. Take note, Nintendo. This shouldn't be difficult. This has been done many times before in many other games. The money pouch. Oh god, Nintendo, just please, please, please put my money in my wallet automatically when I pick it up and I have no inventory space. Heck, why not just automatically always place it in the player's wallet? In all the games when you choose to swap out an object when picking up bells, you can't even put it in your wallet for some reason. They force you to drop an object before keeping the money. Why? This is so dumb. Alexa, play Crazy Frog. More special animals. I really like the traveling villagers like Zahara and Pascal, and would love to see more. It really gives you something to look forward to break the cycle of everyday play when there's no new holidays coming up. It sucks the more you play, the less options you get, like with how Katrina and Gracie move into your town after you see them enough. I'm not including villagers on a schedule like KK and Joanne, since you already know when they're going to be around. Maybe have special characters that play pranks on you, or want to have a game with you. Maybe like another salesman like Red, or maybe someone that tries to buy stuff at your house. The possibilities are really endless, and I'm shocked Nintendo has expanded the list of special traveling animals more over the years. Seasons on the island. This one might get me a little bit of hate, but I really do think the island should have the same seasons as the player town. One really fun thing about Animal Crossing was a transition from season to season. Playing every day wondering, is this finally the day the snow will stick to the ground? Or when it's about to become spring, is the grass going to change to that amazing green color today? I think that this excitement for the seasons to change is very undermined when the island is always in summer mode. Island-specific bugs and fish. One thing that goes hand in hand with the last point in this one is I disliked how you get a large majority of the bugs and fish in the encyclopedia at any time during the year by just going to the islands. Another fun thing to look forward to is the beginning of each month to see what new fish and bugs you could get, but that's a bit ruined when the island's always in summer mode, thus allowing you to get a vast majority of fish, bugs, and sea creatures whenever you please. I think the variety there should either get cut down or just have more exclusive bugs and fish there that you wouldn't be able to find on the mainland anyways. A way to get the final Nookington's upgrade without someone visiting. Okay, so there's another small point. I'm thinking far ahead here. A good 10 years after the launch of the Switch, where Nintendo was announcing shutting off the online play. I think it'd be a good idea for them to perhaps have a way to get the final upgrade to the Nookingtons, simply because once online is gone, there's physically no way to do so. With Wild World on the DS, you can still do so with local play, but in City Folk, there is no way to get the final shop upgrade without doing some sketchy hacking stuff now that the online servers have been shut off. Perhaps there could be a final update to the game right before the online play goes off forever for the Switch that allows you to get the final upgrade another way, but it really does suck to have a game to be uncompletable due to the online services shutting down, like with what happened with City Folk. An RV to travel to Biomes. Okay. This one's a bit of a stretch, but why not? This is my fantasy list, god dang it. In City Folk, I love the idea of traveling with the bus to get to the city. It was a bit annoying to go somewhere like the city on the bus since you're probably going to want to go there at least once every time you play. So let's add that back, but make some changes. What if you could travel on like a bus or an RV to another type of island-esque location? It could be a randomized biome with some animals living there, much like how the islands were randomly generated on the minigames. Except this time it'd be more concentrated like the main island on New Leaf. Think of getting on a bus and ending up in a desert town or a cool rainforest. I don't really know what you would do in these biomes, and maybe this could be where the minigames take place in the game instead of the island like a New Leaf, but I think there's options. So those are all my ideas for the new Animal Crossing for Switch. I'm sure there'll be huge updates to the game that differentiate from past games, especially with how well the Switch sales are doing. I can't wait to upload this, only to think of like 10 other way better concepts than these stupid scuffed ideas almost immediately, but here they are anyway! Like I mentioned, this is going to be a two-part series with the next video hopefully coming out super soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is my first time ever doing a video like this, so please leave a like to show your support and maybe share on some social media if you want. All I want you is kisses! Goodbye!